welcome to today's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Today we have horror host, actress Roxsy Tyler. Roxy, tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm Roxsy Tyler. I am a horror hostess, an actress, a writer, a director, and a pain in the ass.
Well, I think you have to be. If you're a host, you have to be everything plus a huge pain in the ass to at least one person.
I'm a pain in the ass to many people. I enjoy it. It's my hobby. It's my job. Because I'm the boss of my carnival of horrors, so it is my job.
Yeah.
Pay sucks. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it.
That's where I'm at. That's why I do my shows. Is there is no money in it, but I have fun. I get to interview people that I find interesting, and I've met some new friends because of this. So now I'm all for it now. So
yeah.
So when did you get into the horror hosting game?
I think I got in around 2009. Back then I was just a writer, and I had a friend named Blake Powell. Well, we're still friends. He was doing a show called Midnight Mausoleum, and I was like, well, he knew me for my writing, and I wrote a lot of Roxsy Tyler stories. And I'm like, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if Roxsy Tyler was on your show? He's like, oh my God, that would be cool. So I went out to Clinton. I shot an episode of Midnight Mausoleum. We hosted Carnival of Souls, and it was really, really fun. And I didn't intend to do any horror hosting after that, but all of a sudden I got like a lot of people requesting to be my friend on Facebook. Like, oh, do you have a show? Why don't you do your own show? And the people I was surrounded by at the time were filmmakers. So I'm like, all right, I have the resources. And then I did, and here I am.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've became friends with a lot of horror hosts because it's locally. Because I had a friend who was our local horror host. The big one around this area that I grew up on was Dr. Creep, and I became friends with his producer because we worked at the same. I started working doing my old show, which is where this show came from. And so I became friends with Dr. Creep. Then I met the other ones and I kept snowballing. And then I thought, oh, this is kind of a lost thing because there's only, and then I started realizing that I went to conventions, started meeting more horror hosts, and I started tape trading and getting
DVDs. A lot of them.
Oh, a lot. And it's fun because I talked to my one buddy. I was like, man, I think I want to be a horror host, and he's like, do it. And I was like, and then I started watching all these other people. I'm like, man, I'm not that good. I don't know if I could be that good of a horror host.
That's okay. Most of us aren't either. So kind of thrive on it, actually.
Well, so that's why I started doing my Saturday morning show. And I was like, whatever, I can host Saturday morning. I don't have to put on a costume. My costume is literally right there. That's why. And I've said this, now I'll say this. I think this is the first time I've said this. I realized I finally made it because one guy had to take time out of his day to come talk crap about me personally on my.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, yes, I don't know if you wanted this to happen, but that made me feel that much better that somebody legitimately hates me out there because I hosted.
Oh God, yeah. So, you haven't arrived unless you got haters.
Oh yeah. So, who was your? Did you have a role model to become, or somebody you looked up to when you became a horror host?
No, actually, I didn't actually know a lot of horror. I knew who Elvira was when I was a kid. Like Elvira was like the queen,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I didn't model myself after her or anything. I actually knew very little about horror hosting, to be quite honest with you. And I learned a lot more about it as I was going on, but like all influenced by me. This is just me. But I started like really getting into it. The main horror hostess before me in Philadelphia was Stella the Man-Eater of Manayunk. who did Saturday Night Dead. And I actually met her, and it is so weird. Like, she's older than me, but we're like exactly alike in almost everything. And now I'm friends with her, and she was actually my acting coach when I was an actress. So she even calls me her little horror daughter. She's my horror mother.
Well, that's cool. You just said you were an actress. You didn't. Have you done? How many movies have you done?
Probably like 10 or 12. It didn't really last that long. I got out of it for a while, but I have some movies here I can show you. I was in, let's see if I can show you. Blood Slaughter Massacre. It's a throwback to 80s slasher movies. This is done by Mass Grave Pictures. Totally 80s, everything that takes place in the 80s and all that. I wrote and directed and starred in this one, Death Follows. It's a short film. I actually won Best Actress for this the rest of Roxy stuff. This is Eliza's Diary. I wrote and directed and starred in that movie as well. And we actually spoof it on the show. Yeah, the rest is just Roxy stuff.
Hey,
I also did a film called Deer Crossing, which I hate. I hate it. And I actually made fun of it on one of my shows. I was reviewing my own movie without realizing I was in it. And the only excuse was like, "Oh yeah, I thought I looked familiar." Well, I got to work with like Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters and Michael Berryman and Leslie Easterbrook. All these really cool people. I got to work with a lot of cool people.
That's neat. That's really cool. Now, where are you out of? Where's your show available?
Well, Carnival of Horrors is my original show. You can catch that on YouTube. That you can go under username RT Carnival of Horrors, or you can go on Vimeo. It's vimeo.com/Carnival of Horror. And my spin-off show, House of Horrors, is now on Tubi for free, and also Amazon Prime.
All right. Yeah, because it's nice that Tubi has been picking up several horror hosts I've seen, and so does Amazon Prime, and that's actually surprising because I know at one point Amazon did that huge independent movie dump there for a while, and it's nice to see stuff coming back. So now I've said this. How much is Roxy and your life similar? Is
not that similar. I mean, speaking as the woman outside of Roxy's like the embodiment of everything that I like, you know?
Yeah.
And me without rules.
Well, it's funny because I've said this with other guests and stuff, but I had a wrestler friend tell me, and this has worked with, I think is your character is you turned up to 11. So
yeah, pretty much.
And everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's almost spot on." And I'm like, that's just weird that horror hosting and wrestling is just exaggeration of your own personal character.
Yeah.
So, have you ever done a movie, reviewed or hosted a movie, and went back and looked at it and went, "Oh, why did I host that one? That's just so bad."
Nope, not a single time. Nope.
Now, have you ever hosted one and then got it all the way finished, and then found out that you couldn't air it?
No, because I mean, I did my show on YouTube mostly and Vimeo, so I mean, I was never on an actual station. I mean, I was on Amazon Prime and stuff, so that was more accessible to the station. But no, I don't think I ever had that problem. I did have the problem with, because for a while we didn't host like classic horror movies on the show. We did that like the first 2 seasons. But knowing how many horror hosts there are out there, you can pick the host it, and 4 other ones will be hosting it the same week. And that's getting annoying to me. And I'm like, well, why are people going to watch my show if they already watched it over here? They must like me if they're going to watch it again. Some of them I think you can watch over there. I got tired of that, so I started doing short horror films for a while from like independent filmmakers, because I was an independent filmmaker, and anywhere you can get your stuff aired is good. And then we weren't getting a lot of submissions for short horror films, so when we came back, we started doing movie trailers from independent horror filmmakers, sci-fi, and all that. And people actually liked that format a lot. Like, the fans were speaking out about it, and I really like this new format. It's only 15-minute episodes, and you still got all the same things that you would normally get from one of my episodes if we were hosting a movie. And plus, I got to, promote other filmmakers, and it was awesome.
So cool. Now I've asked this to everybody, but you've changed your format, so this might not. You can still answer it if you want to. Money's no object. What movie are you hosting?
Probably Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and I mean, that fits the format of, I run the carnival bars, come on. There's clowns, there's popcorn, there's cotton candy, there's aliens. But I think that would be a good pick for me.
Killer Clown's so fun. And I'm glad that movie finally is getting what it's deserved for years. I went and seen it. I'm old. I went and seen that in a theater when it first dropped. And I think it was like me and like 4 of my buddies. And that was it. And then once it hit video and in DVD and everything, and it started picking up more and more and more, and then people were like, "Oh, this is a lost gem." I'm like, I know. I saw it when it came out.
Yeah, and just like last year, they were like, Spirit Halloween had like all this Killer Clown stuff. Where'd this come from?
Oh yeah, I mean the big full displays. Yeah. What? You guys didn't want nothing to do with this movie 10 years ago, and I didn't want nothing to do with it 30 years ago when was that 87? I think so. Like 30.
It's around there, yeah. I go into Spirit Halloween, I'm like, why is this happening? Take my money. Wait, I don't have it, damn it.
So I missed it because they sold them out of our Spirit Halloween locally before I even got a chance to even go in the Spirit Halloween.
Oh.
So I just ended up with a werewolf. So
they have them cool like werewolf masks where like the jaw moves with your chin. I got that for one of my friends. It's a pretty cool mask.
I look at the mask now and I'm like, man, I wish this stuff was around when I was a kid. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I just had to pull over mask and the only cool thing I could do with it was put like chrome aviator sunglasses under the mask so your eyes are reflective. So
that's creative.
Oh, seriously? My dogs are arguing.
Oh.
I have a mutt and a corgi, and the mutt needs to fight with the corgi. So
I love corgis. I always wanted a corgi. I guess one hasn't fit yet.
Well, I got lucky with this one. This one is a retired breeder dog that was retired, and they were asked if anybody wanted. I was like, oh yeah, we'll take her, and she's super lovable. Isn't that right, Lulu? Oh yeah, she's down at my feet right now. All right. Now the other, if money's no object, or actually this is the time and space and money is no object, who are you bringing on your show?
Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx? That's a really good one.
Yeah, I really don't have to think about these at all. Like I think about the stuff on Groucho Marx. If possible, all the Marx Brothers would be fantastic.
It's like
chaos.
I watched the documentary about lost films, and they were talking about like the Marx Brothers' first film was a flop, and you're just like, really? How was their first movie before it became big was a flop? And evidently it was, but they weren't the stars of it. They were the like co-stars, I guess. So.
I mean, the Coconuts, like the first big film, I
Yeah.
think that was like first talkies in Hollywood.
Yep.
It's crazy to think that. Like one of the
Oh,
first movies with sound.
yeah. This is my fat little corgi.
Oh, so cute.
She is super lovable and super sheddy. Likes to get hair everywhere. But
I've heard that about corgis.
that's our second one. We had one years ago, and she was a rescue, and then this one is a retired one. So we like to come in and save them, I guess. I don't know.
I have 4 cats.
But
They're all rescued.
yeah, cats are here somewhere. There's one, and she just looked at me like, "What?" That's I got Maze and Lucy, and I don't know where my cat's Maze. So actually, it's Mazikeen from Lucifer the TV.
Lucifer, nice.
That's Lucy is Lucy Purr, and because pun, that's right.
I have Boris Karloff. He's the black cat. I have Detective Odafin Tutuola. We just call him Finny, though. Bazinga. And I just got a little girl kitten named Sibley.
That's cool. Yeah, man, we're I never thought I'd be a cat guy, and as I've gotten older, we've ended up getting, I don't know how many cats we've had over the years. So, and then our cats were sitting, we got them, and we're like, I don't know what to name them. We're watching Lucifer, and it was like, hey, that'll work.
That's such a great show too.
Oh my god, that was I was so glad it went to Netflix and did not get canceled.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was great.
Only thing
I like the musical episode. I didn't think I'd like it, but I did.
My wife makes fun of me because she's like, well, you don't watch musicals, but like every musical TV show you watch and you like. And I'm like, I don't know. I do. I love the musical episode of Lucifer. I think that's great. I'm also a sucker for the old Buffy episode. So
yeah. I remember Xena Warrior Princess did a musical episode too.
Oh man, they did, didn't they?
Wow. They did.
It's been so long since I've sat down and watched Xena, more than just an episode here or there. So
I get reminded of it a lot though, because I binge watch Ash vs. the Evil Dead all the time. It's one of my favorite shows, and a lot of people from Xena are on there. So
see what was I was sitting there, remember when Xena went off and Spartacus came on, and I'm like, okay, that is not how I expected to see Xena.
yeah.
And,
I think that's the first time I actually saw a uncut penis, and then I'm like, I don't watch that ever again. Like, what's wrong with his neck?
Oh my God. I had no idea, because I'm just legitimately, I didn't have Showtime or HBO, whatever it was on Stars. I had a friend burn it for me, and I'm sitting there just watching it. One day I put it in, and my now adult children were at home watching TV, and I'm like, oh snap. Turn it off. That's
I didn't really like that show at all. I tried. I really did. It didn't resonate with me at all.
I tried. I think, I don't know if I never finished it. I can tell you that much. It was one of them shows that I started watching and it just sort of disappeared into the ether. So, oh man. All right. I always ask, are you on the convention circuit? Do you get out and do conventions?
No, I don't. I used to do Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, but I actually just like going to conventions and people see me and want to take a picture of me. I'm like, oh yeah, man, can you send me a copy? I was just there all day. I can't sit down for long periods of time. Like even right now, I'm like, I want to get up. I might send my co-host in here and talk to you, so I can go walk around, and smoke a cigarette. Oh, say hi to Paul. Say hi to Paul. This is Boris Carla.
Hey, Boris. That is a pretty cat.
Yeah, he's 16. He doesn't look it though, does he? He looks like a kitten.
Oh man, we had one that was really old, and she never got big. Everybody thought she was a kitten. They're like, "How old's your cat?" I was like, 12. How are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I was there when we found her, and she was not a kitten when I found her. Interesting story in that. I worked first day I'm working at a new Hollywood video store that I became a assistant manager. I'm walking around the store, and the manager's like, "Oh, this is where this is at." And we hear meow, meow, and I'm like, "What? Is there a cat in here? Do you have a cat?" He's like, "We don't have a cat in here." And I'm like, "All right, hold on a second." And I start going, "Come here, kitty, 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 kitty." And this cat comes running towards me. I'm like, "Yeah, you have a cat." And and so I took it outside. Then I'm just sitting there and just staring at me. And I'm like, I call my wife up and I'm like, "Hey, do you want a cat?" And then
I hate when people ask me that. I'm like, "Yeah." I have a lot though.
Well, that's what happened with the cats we got. We were only supposed to get one. And my friend goes, "Hey, try them and see how they do in your house." And we took two of them. We were like, "Oh, if the one doesn't get along, we can bring the other with the dogs. We can bring them back." Well, both cats got along great with the dogs. And so we're like, looks like we got cats now. Oh, man. Let's see. Been there 2009. Okay. I have to think about everything out loud if I don't I have space. All right. Give me 1 second. Again, my dog is freaking out outside now.
You know what? I'm gonna go send Dash up here, my co-host, and I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. Okay. Go. Dash, come here and talk to Paul.
Oh,
remember the Dash.
Yes.
I know for Dash. Okay, take the break and come back. There we are. All right. Okay. You are the co-host, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. For our audience, tell us who you are.
I am Dash Dudley.
Dash Dudley.
Yes.
Hey, how long have you been co-hosting, horror hosting?
Not very long. I was helping move the carnival and decided to sign up. About a year. Yeah.
Now, were you into horror hosting before or was it just something you just kind of fell into?
I fell into it. I didn't know much. She introduced me, showed me some people, and I was like, "All right, let's do it." I'm in,
Now, do you ever go back and check out other horror hosts, or are you are you just completely like, no, I'm doing my own thing?
I look at some of them, some that she's shown me, and they've done, and they're like, wow, just amazing on such a small budget. It's just,
yeah,
amazing.
That's what surprises me, because this, like we were talking, I was like, there's no money in this, and there are people who have ginormous sets and everything else. And I'm like, man, how do you find the time or the money? Oh
yeah, and like some of them that use like the green screen and all that editing, like that's a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
I've watched her episodes we've done, and I'm like, I don't even know if they're doing it like it's nothing.
Oh yeah. It's kind of nice with my show because I kind of get into a groove, so it's really easy and smooth, and I can just come in down in here, turn the computer on, turn the music on, and everything just kind of flows, and I can just knock out an episode in like no time flat. But I'm also really kind of basic. But man, some of these, you know,
Yeah, I'm like, some of the hosts that she's just like, wow, like, we should definitely try and build a set like that.
that,
Like,
that's
just,
kind of my, yeah, that's kind of my goal. I'm hoping to get a building soon and not film out of my basement, and set up an actual studio so I have a dedicated set that the camera will stay there and the set will stay there, and I can just roll in, shoot my episodes, and I don't have to move all my crap around and deal with my shit and my dogs. So
yeah, that's how it was in the 2 episodes that we shot. It was like moving stuff around and getting the camera stable so that we could both be on, because so when we shot it, it's like how and we figured out a way. We put out those 2 episodes that we did on YouTube. So
now
send help. Send help.
oh my god, it's it's got to be a lot of work for that you guys are putting in, because is just the two of you working, or do you have just
Yeah, the two of us. You know, she writes the script, and then it's all right. We're shooting. Okay. Okay. And you know, as she was saying earlier, how she's a writer. So she literally banged me out a whole script in 15 minutes. It was just mind-boggling how fast she could write the script, and we had everything planned. We were just down driving, and
see me, I my first handful of episodes, I wrote the script, I had notes, I had all that stuff like that, and then after a while I was like, I would skip the notes, or something would happen in the episode, so I'd have to change something around. I'm like, man, I just did all this work for nothing. So now I just do everything like off the cuff, and I don't know. Either people are either gonna like it or they're gonna hate it. So
exactly. Sometimes you got to do it just for yourself.
no, yeah, and
if people enjoy it, they enjoy it, but for the most part, you're doing a lot of it for you, and then hope everyone else enjoys it.
Oh yeah, legitimately, this show that I do started out as a public access show. I did interviews, would travel all over and talk to people, and you know, I'd sit in a studio with actual VHS tapes and edit and do all that fun stuff, and that was 100% for me. I wanted to do it, so I decided to do it.
Say it works. Yeah. Well, she's back, so I'll let her take back over.
All right.
I didn't ask for anybody to come help.
Did he get in the camera and go, I'm being held here against my will?
No, he didn't do that at all. I don't know.
Nobody's coming to get you. Nobody likes you.
Oh man.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay? I'll give you a stipulation, and I'll even give you like 3 choices so we open it up. So you don't have to try. What are 3 movies? Doesn't have to be your favorite movie. What are 3 movies you can watch over and over and over again?
It's cop out. I don't even count these anymore because I'm a Star Wars guy, so I can always watch Star Wars. So I don't count those no more. But I just had this conversation a couple days ago, because now everything that I love that I can always watch is streaming now. and I own them. So now I don't have to go dig through my personal collection to go find these movies. Black Sunday, Planet of the Vampires, and Angry Red Planet. I can always watch them any time of the day, any time. I mean, you know, of course, there's like Halloween, the original Halloween, Halloween 3. I can watch those anytime, but there's a couple old horror movies that I can legitimately sit down and go over there right now and watch Black Sunday, Planet of the Vampires, and I'd be sitting there watching them, reading. I could turn them on for background noise. I could turn them on just to watch again for like the 100th time. So, what are your 3?
Mine are a little more modern. So I watch Seed of Chucky all the time. So I can I watch it all the time. I just find it that enjoyable that I can just watch it on a whim, or like you say, background noise.
Yeah.
I watch it a lot. And crackers from Marx Brothers.
Now, is there a movie that you like that maybe somebody has never heard of, or, you know, something that, like, I have a couple movies that I always tell people about, and they're like, I've never heard of that movie. And I'm like, well, one is it just now came out on Blu-ray, and it's only been available on VHS for the last 35 years. But do you have a movie like that?
I've had people tell me that my movie interests are something you've never heard of, but me, I'm like, oh, it's a great movie. Like, I really like Dolls. Remember Dolls?
Oh, yeah.
It came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
Pre-Full Moon, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a movie. Yeah. I really like that movie. And I'm like, oh, I never heard of that. I'm like, what? People always tell me they are Marx Brothers until they met me. So they have a whole bunch to catch up on. Dash didn't really ever see Marx Brothers stuff until I came around. So, and he can watch them constantly. He just loves it. What else? I mean, I'm in my movie library. I'm like trying to figure out. I know a lot of people have told me, oh, I've never seen that. There's this movie called Crash, favorite movies, but it has, I don't know how to say his name, but Elias Koteas. He played Casey Jones in the Ninja Turtles movie in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that. Waiter's in it. I think Trisha Arquette. It's one of the Arquette sisters. Rose Arquette. One of the Arquette sisters is in it. And it's about this group of people who, like, get off on car crashes.
Yeah, Crash. That's a super
weird.
Yeah.
Super weird. But everybody's like, I never heard of that. I thought you meant Crash with Sandra Bullock. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Don't. Hey, I worked at Hollywood Video, and people would come in looking for Crash and pick up Crash, and they come back. This isn't what I wanted to rent. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry.
Horrifying.
You need to read the movie. Yeah, because I had David Spader in it, and it's definitely a David Cronenberg movie, because it is
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a intense kind of movie, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, I guess it's true. Like, I mean, it's about car wrecks and the way it gets them off, and I'm like, it's like a car crash. You can't look away. What a weird movie.
I remember a friend of mine loaning that to me on VHS tape back in the day. He's like, "You got to watch this movie." I watched it. I was like, "Why did you just?" And I was like, I get it, kind of, I guess, but. And then over the years, I was like, I get it. It's definitely it's body horror, but not body horror, and it's because. But I was like,
you can definitely say you never saw a movie like that before.
No. Never seen one before. You'll never see one after that.
No, I don't even know how I got the first time. I mean, not that it's a bad movie, it's just weird.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
There's a well, it's funny because I'll be sitting at my shop every once in a while, and I'll put in an old horror movie or something like that, especially if it's dead. And
Mhm.
people, my friends will come over and they'll be sitting there hanging out, and they're like, "What are we watching?" And I'm like, "This is a movie called, this is The Keep." What's The Keep? I was like, "Well, it's Michael Mann's movie. It's based on his book, blah blah blah, but it's nothing like the book." And they're like, "Michael Mann, like Heat." Yeah, I met Michael Mann. He made a horror movie, and I'm like, "Yeah, he made a horror movie. Made a couple, matter of fact." I
Mhm.
guess if you want to count Manhunter as a horror movie, um, and it's but then they look at it and they're like, "Well, what are you watching this on?" I'm like, "Well, this is Laserdisc. This is the only available copy that you can get." And then they get
It's Laserdisc, my God.
there's some movies that's the best quality version of that exists, especially like
I've heard that.
yeah, The Keep
Heard that.
has never been available on DVD, not available on Blu-ray. It is, I guess, available streaming some places, but like if you want a physical copy, the best copy you're ever going to get is the Laserdisc. So,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
I own the Laserdiscs. So,
My cousin owns a Laserdisc. I was actually jealous of 99 Laserdisc, and that's literally the only format.
well, my one really good friend got me into them back in the day, and I was like, Laserdisc players are expensive. You got to flip the discs over, and then he's like, but hey, look at Terminator, and then we watched Terminator with all the extra stuff, and I'm like, what? That's not on the VHS. He's no. And now that's all on DVD and Blu-ray, so now we don't have to worry about it. But I love being the guy who brings people movies they never heard of, or
Yeah.
finding stuff that people consider lost or whatever. I mean, that's legitimately why I do my Saturday morning cartoon show, is because a lot of this stuff people forgot existed. And I'm bringing it back, and they're like, I don't remember that show. And I'm like, well, did you live in this market? Because it wasn't available in Ohio, but it was available in Indiana, but it wasn't. Oh man.
The movie, the room I'm in is my movie library right now. We have it's still growing. We have 750 DVDs so far. I haven't counted the Blu-rays, but every week we go to a flea market and we get a bunch of DVDs for $1 each. And it's awesome. Last week I picked up The Professional.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah. And Dash picked up Demolition Man. With it on it. We usually get a haul of 12 movies, but we only got 3 last week.
Oh, see, that's what I do. I have the video racks out of a Family Video. Our local Family Video started giving them away, and I started going over. I'm like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So I have 3 racks. Some of them are double-sided, full of book-ended DVDs that I have just for sale at the shop. My own personal collection is I don't know how many thousand DVDs at this time, and how many I don't know. I think last time I checked, I had 3,500 DVDs, but I know I've gotten more since then. And Blu-ray, Blu-rays. The last time I counted, I had somewhere in the ballpark of 1,500. Now I think I've got closer to 2,000. I'm a physical media nut. I gotta have the physical.
Me too.
Yeah, and but the only work
I have to have artwork and whatever side the DVD looks like and everything. Then it's all part of the charm of owning a movie.
Oh yeah, then you get cool stuff like steel books and
yeah.
Oh yeah. What is your personal favorite movie?
Batman from 1989. I've loved it.
That's
dating myself.
that is a great movie.
The 30-year anniversary a couple years ago, they released it into the theaters at our local mall. So like last time I saw it in the theater, I was 3 years old. So it was quite nice as an adult and see it in the movie theater as a full-grown woman, and I'm still all crazy about like I'm sure people can like compare it to other ones, but to me, like, not look that way to me, or inspired the same reaction out of me the way that movie did when I was watch it every day. I still feel the same way I did when I walked out of that movie theater when I was a little kid, and that's why it's my favorite movie, because it still gives me that reaction, and I can still watch it like I'm seeing it. I know what happens, but like I'm not watching it that way. I'm watching it like as it's happening. I'm not jumping ahead at all.
Well,
what's yours?
Literally, it's probably like Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars. You ever talk about seeing Batman? I guess I'm about 10 years older than you. I saw it in 1989. I was one of them kids parked outside, me and my buddies in the line, waiting to get into the theater. Went and seen it in our little local 2-screen theater at the time. And they were running it, I think 10 minutes apart. So they'd run one show at like, 1 o'clock, and then the next show started at 1:10, and they always had people going in and out. And all I did for like that entire weekend was basically get out, get back in line, and go see it again. But the nice part about it was like everybody at that theater knew me, and so I think I paid for like 2 showings and went like 10 times that weekend. That was one of the good things about growing up in the 80s and stuff locally, because I lived in a small town and like everybody knew me. The theater manager had known me since I was a little kid, and it was one of the ones where he knew my parents, would let me in to go see movies that were completely inappropriate, because he knew my mom was like, "Can Paul see this?" "Yeah." "Okay, you sure? All right." My grandpa took me to go see Conan when I was like, 7, 8 years old.
I love Conan. I'm a Schwarzenegger fan since I was a kid.
Yeah, it's Conan is still holds up to this day. I just rewatched it like a couple days ago, and I was like, man, it's hard to believe this was filmed in like 81, because I think it came out in 82.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I don't know a lot of people that say it's so good, but I say it's so good. I enjoy Conan a lot.
It's a fun movie, and it's gory as hell, and had a great cast, and had Arnold really early in his career when he could speak very little English, and he still knocked it out of the ballpark. So
yeah, it's a very likable guy.
Oh yeah. It's funny because I had a friend that I guess worked for him when he worked for Planet Hollywood, and he goes, Arnold would go, and before he came in, he would send somebody to go to like the Staples or something down the street, and it would just get like the notepads, and he would just go through and sign and hand out Arnold Schwarzenegger autographs to like everybody. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah. He goes, you don't realize how big he is until he walks by you, and this kid was like, I don't know, like 5'5", maybe weighed 110 pounds. And okay.
Oh man, that's why I wish I could meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. Man, I'd be like, I'll probably. So wait, let me ask you this, because now that I have my collections growing and growing and growing, do you notice any like odd things? Well, not things, but like, say you had a collection, like, is there any high tell people? Because mine, I was actually putting mine away alphabetized, which is actually a pain in the ass, especially like something that starts with G or something. You have to move all of them after G. But I was putting new ones in there, and I told Dash, I'm like, you'll never believe this. Like, aside from 2 shelves, there's a Johnny Depp movie on the shelf.
Well,
I don't believe you. And I showed him, I'm like, well, we got to get other Johnny Depp movies to complete the shelves.
oh,
That was my factoid right there.
I'm horrible because I have like on my Blu-rays, I have like all my Scream like Shout Factory Blu-rays together in order. Mm-hmm. I have like my Arrow, I have this, I have that, but for the most part, my stuff gets gone through, and I'll pull stuff out because I've literally got stuff just stacked because I have no room. And it's also bad because my kids will go, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday, Dad?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And they're like, "What movies do you have?" And I'm like, just go get one of these 5 movies. I don't have any of these 5.
I put all the movies I don't have on my Amazon wish list, and my mother will just clean it out every Christmas and give me a big box on it.
Yeah, my kids, my son Joe always buys me the DC animated movies for birthday.
Oh yeah,
he buys those for me, and everybody's like, "Man, they're on HBO Max." I'm like, "I don't care, man. There's extra stuff on these." I have shelves of nothing but the DC animated movies. So,
and I have a few of those.
Yeah, well,
I'll show you around my movie room. Let's see how good this works. I wish I could like turn around like in my. Let me see if this works. See, those are the shelves back there.
Oh yeah.
There's almost one complete shelf of just Batman stuff.
Oh, I can see Batman, the TV series and the animated box sets.
Series, yeah. I have like Batman and everything. Oh, hi, Dash. And there's the other side. Not as big as we'd like it yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
And we have our puny gray shelf right there. Like, it's not full yet, but it will be, I promise you.
Well, all mine, I would move my thing, but literally I'm tethered, so I can't take it all the way to that end of the room. Those shelves go down 3, and then there's just movies jammed in there. That one goes down 2, and movies jammed in there. The ones far down there go about 3 shelves down, movies jammed in. I have the white shelf that's like right there that you can see right there. That is jam-packed full of Blu-rays. I have like 4 totes, the big and those are jam-packed full of DVDs. And that's not including the fact that I have stuff stored at my shop because I ran out of room here. So.
Oh my goodness.
And then on top of it, I still have VHS. And as I said before, I have Laserdisc because I don't know when to stop buying stuff. And now my wife's like, "You added another thing?" And then I started rebuying vinyl. And but it's the thing is though, the stuff I buy on vinyl is like mostly like movie soundtracks and synthwave stuff that I can use to edit to. So I don't know. Something about the music just helps me kind of chill out. And then I didn't even listen to this one yet. The Blade Runner. I'm not listening to metal, I guess. So what's your do you have go-to music that you listen to while you work?
I listen to a lot of Rob Zombie.
Hey, nothing wrong with Rob Zombie. I love me some Rob Zombie.
My favorite band's Aerosmith.
That is legitimately my wife's favorite band. She
really?
Yeah. That's her all-time favorite band. She has never seen Aerosmith live, but she a couple years ago she got to see Steven Tyler in Detroit. And
Oh, that's cool.
she goes, I don't know. She goes, I that's expensive. Tickets are expensive. And I walked in, I come down, I slam money on the table. I'm like, go see Steven Tyler.
Yeah. I saw them 4 times.
Oh man.
They're fantastic live. They really are.
Yeah. I've
almost
they're
fantastic.
We've had tickets, I think 3 or 4 times, and it was during that time period where they kept like canceling or rebooking shows. Yeah. And so I got mad. And because we'd have our tickets, and the worst part, we even won tickets one time from the radio station. We had decent tickets from the radio station, and they all just kind of fell through every time I went. My favorite band I finally got to see a couple years ago, but I'm Anthrax, so now I've seen them a couple times.
Oh, Dash loves Anthrax, yeah.
I'm hopefully going to see them.
I like them too. They're just not my favorite.
Yeah, go see them in August. Yeah, Zombie I've seen 10 times. So from White Zombie to Rob Zombie.
He's coming in July, so I really want to go to that.
Hold on, there's my kid. Yeah. Hey. Okay, well, I'm recording. So, all right, I'll talk to you. No, because it's got water in it, so it'll take a while for that to drain. No, just leave it alone. Yeah, but it runs out. Okay, I'll talk to you about it in a few. Okay. All right, love you. Bye. Sorry. Kids. Everybody needs 4 of them. No, I don't. I have 4 kids. I all boys, and they're from my youngest is 11, my oldest is 30. Because
I just have cats.
No. And that's the other thing is I don't know what's worse, my 2 dogs or my 11-year-old that's running around upstairs right now. So all right. Let's talk about some of your movies that you've done. Are they still available? Can you get them?
Okay.
Can you get them? Or where can you get them?
Yeah. Most of them are on Amazon Prime. There's a few that are on Tubi. I did, I think Sugar Skull Girls are on Tubi. I know they're on Amazon Prime. Sugar Skull Girls is my friend I played this character called Pale Witch, and he was my butler. Let me see. All the Roxy stuff is on. Well, not all of it. My spin-off show, House of Horrors, is on Amazon Prime and Tubi. I always keep my initial show, Carmela, Horrors, for free on YouTube and Vimeo. I don't really care about making money off my show. I just do it because I love it. So
yeah,
I got on Tubi and Amazon Prime. I'm like, it's news to me. Surprised it's me. There's all these bad reviews about it on Amazon. I'm like,
hey,
I'm not funny.
Hey, if people take the time out to even write a bad review, that means they had to take time out to watch the movie, and that they had to, that it affected them enough that they had to go out and write a review. Yeah. So hey,
I don't even take the time to write reviews about movies I like. So I'm like, wow, good for you. Living free right up here.
Yeah, because like I said, if it's that much that somebody has to get that angry about it, you're like, yeah, I'm in there. I got right in your brain, and that's what I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, when people start hating you, that's when you made it.
Yeah, when we did Deer Crossing, I hate the movie. I literally hate it. The only thing that good that came out of it for me was working with Ernie Hudson. I literally hate myself in the movie. I hate everything about it. I hate when we were shooting it. My ex was a director, and he was constantly because on Redbox, Deer Crossing got on Redbox actually. It was a big deal, and there were so many scorning reviews for it, and he used to post them on Facebook every week because like he just found it hilarious. So I wrote one too, but he didn't post it. I was upset about it. I'm like, there's not enough tits and blood in this movie.
Now, have you ever ran into that where they've wanted you to be in a movie and then they changed the script on you, or have been like, hey, we need some boobs, come on, you know?
No, I never got into that. A lot of the people I work with actually knew. If like someone asked me about how to get into acting, I'm like, I mean, get trained and network, because like most of the people that are going to put you in a movie are people that already know you. So be put in a situation like that, and if somebody came up to me and was like, oh, you'd be naked for the scene, I'm like, well, we didn't agree on that when I signed my contract, so I'm not doing that. Certainly not for the pay that you contracted me for.
Is there any genre that you'd like to work in that you haven't worked in yet?
Well, I definitely didn't like drama. I don't like dramatic movies to begin with. I'm not a dramatic person. I would have liked to have done. It's kind of hard because like a lot of horror stuff I did was like borderline comedy too. But I really like comedy. I really want to do more comedies. Be silly. Be silly.
Cool. That's because it's funny because most of the time people don't pick comedies. I've interviewed several people, and it's because they like comedy's hard. And
hard. It's hard. Drama's hard.
I could see drama being hard, but I think I don't know. I think for me, even I've written scripts for stuff and for comic books and movies and stuff, and trying to write the comedy for me was always the hardest part, because it's like, is it funny? Then I pitch it to people and like, that's pretty good. Do you think it's funny if you were to read it? I don't know if it'd be funny if I read it. Now, so if I put in a movie, but it's one of the ones. Comedy just doesn't. I love comedy movies, and I would love to do a comedy, like some sort of way, shape, or form as a book or as a movie, but I don't know if I could write the comedy in it.
You know what I did? Because like my shows were mostly comedy. I left a lot of room for people to improv, like a lot of room. I would just give them a scenario and some target lines that they need to say, and we would just form a scene out of that. And we came up with a lot of stuff from that. And also like it always helps to have people like do the scene in front of you, or in front of like a group of people, to see that it's funny. I learned that from the Marx Brothers, because they used to do their stuff on stage before they did it in a movie, because they wanted to find out if it was funny or not. Yeah. So like those would be the only things if you wanted to do that. Things leave plenty of room for improv and see if you can people perform it in front of other people to see if it's funny.
Yeah, because it's
easy for me.
Because we can be funny at the shop, and I always told people that I would love to do a comedy about the shop, because all the weird people that come in, me and my friends, that because we're just weird people anyways. So we'll be laughing our butts off at something that we think's hilarious, and we're like, I wonder if anybody else would think this is hilarious. Because is it a private inside joke? Would it work on the outside? But I have respect for people who love comedy, because I love my comedies, but I you did it great with the whole just play it out and then see if it's funny and then go from there. I think that's I was talking to Dash and he was telling me you guys do all this by your show by yourselves, just you and him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do all the writing.
It wasn't always just me and him, but now it's me and him. Yeah, so it's a lot to have kind of like a small crew, but now it's just me and him.
Yeah, and you do the what, directing, the writing, the starring. You do all that stuff, and that's I got just nothing but respect for people that have that kind of that want to put that much into something. That's an amazing amount of
exhausting.
Yeah. Well, that's like people ask me, they're like, how do you do what you do? I'm like, one, I don't sleep. I work
Right.
I work from like 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I get like all my most of my work done and when I do my editing and whatnot. So the fact is that you know, to have, you know, that much put that much effort into something is amazing. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a job. I mean, I don't do all of it because I want to. A lot of it, my back being against the wall, and I have to now.
So, all right, I appreciate it. It's fun and to getting to talk to you guys. Dash was fun, and he did not say that he needed help and needed to get out of there.
Nobody's coming for you. Nobody's coming for you. You can come on camera if you want. Go ahead. Throw a flare. Nobody's coming for you. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Nobody's coming for you.
Nobody's coming for you. You can call 911 right now, and they'd be like, "We don't care." Oh, no, you don't know what 911 is? Forget I said anything.
Oh man.
You know what the Army is?
Like RLE Armory?
Yeah, like Arlie. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Forget I said anything.
Oh, crap.
I'll full metal jacket your ass later.
Well, I gotta say thank you a ton. Like I said, now can we get any autographs or any physical copies of your movies from you?
Actually, not. There's like no physical things anymore. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to get those again. Not living in a physical world anymore. We're all just talking heads on a screen now. So, I done so people can, but I don't like to charge for art or anything. Like I usually just like charge a shipping fee. You know, I don't want to charge that. I just don't. And like when people bought DVDs and stuff off me, I would just like automatically sign them for them.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on here tonight. Like I said, I've reached out to you that I'm hoping to do a kind of roundtable with horror hosts and stuff. I'm planning that for maybe July, hopefully, because I want to do it live, so people can call in, or type in, and then ask questions while we got that many people together. And I might have to do it in 2 parts because like everybody's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm like, oh, I got like 12 people. That's way too many. I was thinking like
that would be fun.
5 or 6. So
yeah,
but it's kind of
just like 5 or 6 that you like, you know.
Yep. All right. Well, I think my dog is wanting to end this today because she's out there barking. So thank you for being on. Thank you, Dash, for being on.
Thank you for having me.
And I will get back with you because this probably will not drop this Monday. It will drop the following Monday. And I'll do some editing to it, clean it up, and get the dog out of it and all that fun stuff. So.
Well, the dog's the star of this whole thing, though. What are you talking about?
She definitely thinks she is. So mine's all chilled out, like relaxed right there, like right behind me. That one's high strung. So All right. Well, I want to thank you very much, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Later.
Have a good weekend.
You too. You too.
Bye.
Bye. Big shout out to Roxsy Tyler for appearing tonight. Hopefully we get to sound. I hope the sound isn't bad through the entire thing. And if it is, maybe we'll come back again and get Roxy back on the show. As always, Group Therapy brought to you by RU Game, the best comic book collectible, magic, nerd, toy shop located at 124 North Sunset Drive, Pickle, Ohio, 45356. You can find us on Facebook at RU Game. You can also find us on Facebook as the Group Therapy TV Podcast. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, you can find me every Monday on Group Therapy at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Sci Fridays every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Saturday morning serials at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's all, man. Take care, and I will see you later.